Good morning, guys. You know what day it is? Motorhome Mondays. Right. I'm not out and about at the moment. It's been a bit of bad weather. So, I'm just in the motorhome. But I'm in quite a very, very, very urban area. So, blinds are down. So, bit boring this week. Bit boring. First off, before we get into questions, I just want to say that the supermarket park-ups is going down really well. I haven't got any more in the bag yet, and there's not going to be any more until I'm able to go and move around, you know, until lockdown's done. Yeah, that's it. So, but I've got plenty more in the pipeline for them park-ups, and I know where I'm going to try. So, as soon as lockdown's done, we're on it. We're on it. Now, let's crack on with the questions, shall we? First one, I've had quite a lot of new subscribers, so there's a few questions that are people watching my old videos and that, so it's a good thing to do as well. It's a good thing to do, fill your time in lockdown. Right. How much do you pay per month to campsites living full time in the motorhome? I don't pay for campsites. I live 99.9% urban. I find park-ups in streets, cul-de-sacs, industrial estates, lay-bys, very rare lay-bys to be fair, but yeah, it's 99.9% just urban. I've got videos on my channel. As you can hear the noises, people closing the doors. It is very close. So yeah, you can see that on my channel. I've got how I find park-ups and where I park. Following on from that, how comes you don't just stay parked at your work instead of driving to a new spot each day? Because that's what I do. I usually park in the works car park while I'm at work. When I finish work, I then go out, find a new park up, and I've got a list in my mind of, you know, tons and tons of park ups that I've built up over the 3 years now. So, to be honest, I just want to keep it separate. I like moving. I like, you know, which is quite hard now because I'm not moving. Going 3 years moving every single day of the week to then not moving is quite a culture shock. But yeah, I just enjoy it, and I like to keep work, and set personal life. It's easier that way. It's just, you know you're at work, you know you're not. So, yeah, easy. Next question. Someone told me that there are extra chemicals in the LPG from petrol stations that eventually kills the fridge and heating system. Is that true? I have no idea. If any of you lot know if that's true or not, drop it in the comments below. I have been using LPG from the pumps, from the petrol stations, for about just shy of 3 years. So yeah, my fridge still works and my heating still works, touch wood. So if it stops now, I know who I'm going to come and find. No, it works fine. It works fine. I don't know. So that's the honest answer to that one. Following on from LPG, over the last few months I've seen LPG pumps being removed from stations here and there. Do you know why? Yes, that's Shell that are removing quite a few of them, and that is because they're trying to switch to power, electric charging points, so they're getting rid of their LPG. I think some of the real bigger stations that sell quite a lot of LPG are going to keep them. I have seen a few Essos pop up. I saw one Esso, that's popped up that didn't have LPG that now does, and there was a Shell that did have LPG in the area, and now it's gone. So I think they are going to try and fill the market a bit. Morrison's did confirm that they're only going to be adding to their supply. They're not going to be, they're not removing them. So it looks like it's just Shell. So that's all I know on that. If any of you know any more, then, you know, drop it in the comments below. Next question. Following on from LPG again, how comes you chose safefill bottles instead of the gasit system, and and they follow on. I've heard some stations have a problem with you refilling them because you have to open the locker section. Right, the reason I chose the safefill bottles was because I did actually get a quote for underslung tank, and I've got a weird underneath. Good one, that, isn't it? Apparently no, I'm not a mechanic, you know that. The handbrake cable is just a long bar or something, so it runs right down the middle or right down the thing, so you wouldn't get, it would be quite a different weird configuration and you wouldn't get that much under there, and I wanted to switch there and then, and I didn't want to have to wait for a custom built job and all this and that. So I saw a friend who had a safe fill bottle, so I just opted for one of them straight away, because I could order that online and get that delivered straight away, and then I went from there. I bought one to start with, and then once that was working out, because it was costing so much for Cala, it was like £24 a refill, and you have to get the bloody thing out of the box and then go swap it, and then you don't know when they're flipping empty anyway, because you can't see. So I bought one, and then for about, I think I had one for a couple of months, and I kept one spare Cala just in case, and then I just took that Cala out and gave that to a friend, and then I bought another safe fill, and that's where I've been. And regarding people questioning you filling up, the only place I've had trouble, and they did let me fill up in the end because I was kind of persistent, and that was Sainsbury's. Sainsbury's are a bit, they look to make sure if what you're filling before they press the button in the authorised button. But Shell are golden, and Morrison's, they're golden, so I've never had a problem with them. I actually had forecourt assistants at Shell say, do you want me to do it for you? So they've got no problem. Next question, do you own a car or a motorbike, or is it just the motorhome? No, I did have a car, which I sold once I got the motorhome. Took a month or two to get rid of it. But yeah, I don't have anything. Literally all I have is the motorhome. Yeah, simple question. Your sofa cushions, are they original or have you had them recovered? Now, I believe the previous owner had them recovered, and I think the person asked because they're not very, they don't really like all the ones they're seeing out there. I know quite a few people who see motorhomes and they don't like the colours and that, and you can get them reupholstered, and the easiest way the cheapest way to transform them straight away, if you were buying a motorhome, is just get like some cheap throw covers that you can get for probably 10-15 quid, and just throw them over, the sofa, and get 3 or 4, then you can throw them over the bottom, the back, and then do either side, depending on how big your sofa area is. That'd be the cheapest way for the meantime, and just find a nice colour that you like there. But you can get them recovered, and there's plenty of places out there that will recover them in weird and wonderful and wacky designs. But yes, I think mine were recovered, but I can't be 100% sure on that. I haven't got a receipt, so. So I've got 2 questions here which are kind of similar. So the first one is, if you were retired or didn't have to work for long periods of time, would you still live the motorhome lifestyle, or would spending so much time in the motorhome be too much? No, let's say the second question. Second question is, how long do you think you will stay in the motorhome before you suddenly want a more permanent home? Well, I've done 3 years in this, and I'm not looking any time to change this. I love this, and I think it's only going to grow more, because I intend to just travel more and travel more and more and more and more, and then once we're allowed, then go over to Europe. Yeah, so I can only see this growing deeper, and me enjoying it and loving it more. So I don't see a problem with that. And if I'm retired or not working for long periods of time, then that means I've got more freedom, and that means I've got more time to go do stuff, which means I'd love it even more. That's going to be bonus, isn't it? Proper bonus. So yeah, next one. Have you got any plans to change the paintwork on your motorhome? Now I wouldn't mind wrapping the motorhome. Now before everyone jumps on that, I don't want to wrap the whole thing, just the two sides where there's just this square edge, you know, inside the metal frame. I'd like to get a design in that, so I'd like to take the white away a bit, so maybe have it a lighter colour grey, and then a few squiggles of white and maybe a squiggle of colour, just to stop it being so white, because it gets dirty. It does get dirty and it looks tired. If it's dirty, it looks tired and it looks old, and so if there's any graphic vinyl wrappers out there that want to challenge and want to send something over, send some ideas over, then feel free. But yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that in the future, but that ain't on my list of anytime soon. But yeah. Next one. Last question. I'm going to be moving into a motorhome as soon as I find a suitable one, but I'm indecisive between a three-way fridge or a compressor fridge. What's your thoughts? Now, I've had a chat. Ooh, someone else on. I've had a chat with a few of the other van lifers before when we was just at a meet-up. Oh, remember them? Meet-ups.
We're telling you a story. I'm sorry. Yeah. Camera. Yeah. Not like the most longer. There's not.
Those are the days. And they were saying about if they need a fridge, they'll replace with a compressor fridge. Now, I've got a three-way fridge, which I run 24/7, 365 on LPG. So I haven't got a compressor fridge. A lot of people have said, yeah, to replace with a compressor fridge. Oh, someone's having a phone call now. Joys of lockdown in a motorhome. This is as real as it gets, baby. So I haven't got any experience with a compressor fridge. Obviously, you're going to have electricity, so you've got to make sure you've got a supply of electricity coming in, whether that's solar or hook up or generator or something along them lines, because you can't just flick it to LPG if you've got no power. So you want to make sure you have got somewhere power. So you need to figure out how much that's going to consume in a 24-hour period. Obviously, when it starts up, it takes a lot, and then once it drops down and it's all running, it just kicks in and out. But people that I've spoke to do praise the hell out of them. So maybe a compressor, I don't know. You just need to, again, I said this in last week's episode, jump onto like the forums, you know, like Motorhome or anywhere, or the Facebook groups. There's plenty of people out there that will say, yeah, I own a compressor, it's pants, or I own a compressor, it's the bee's knees, the dog's danglers. You can go that way if you're you know inclined, because it's not a small chunk of change you're going to be dropping there. You know, I think the three-way fridge to replace mine's like £800 to £1,000 if I buy a new one. That's ridiculous, because obviously they have to be the exact size to go in the exact fitting that it's coming out of. A compressor, I think about £500-600, or between £400 and £600. So yeah. But I've got to say, I do love my fridge, and it does stay cold. It really is, you know, I haven't had any problems with it. And the freezer's just rock solid, and the fridge is ice cold. So that is it for this week's Motorhome Mondays. If you've got any questions for next week, drop them in the comments below, send me an email, catch me on Instagram, and I will catch you on the next one. Take it easy, guys. Have a great week. Stay safe. Bye.